Hi, so today we're going to talk about profit. Yeah, we want a profit when we run a business, or even if you run a quote non-profit, you still want to make money. Now, when a business makes money, typically they say it's in the black. That's because the numbers on the spreadsheet are shown in black or positive. If a business or nonprofit or whatever the organization is in the red, that is not a good thing. That means that they are spending more money than they make. And typically we say in the red because a spreadsheet will show those numbers or the loss in the red. Now, businesses have two typical types of statements, okay? Financial statements is what we call them. First of all, there is a P&L or a profit and loss statement. Now, there's three kinds of things really on the P&L statement. First of all, there is your income, and that's a good thing. And then there is your cost of goods sold. So income, if you sell a t-shirt for $15, of course you could say, oh, that's great. Well, if your cost of goods sold for that t-shirt is $20, then you have just lost $5 a t-shirt. Okay, so you're in the red on that t-shirt. And that hasn't even had your other expenses like paying for the ink and all the other expenses that you might have, or really your electricity and that sort of thing. So we have our income, and then we take out what we call our cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold is the direct cost of those goods. Then we have something called a gross profit. Now, the word gross, don't be confused by that. And the best way to explain the term gross has to do with my dad, who farmed pecans, among other things. And when he took his pecans in, or pecans, as some of you might say, to the factory to have them processed, it had sticks and leaves and all kinds of other things in it. That was the gross. They measured it and they said this is the gross, and that is before the sticks and leaves and all of that had been taken out. Now, after they had all the sticks and leaves taken out and they shelled them, then you would have the net and they would weigh it and would have all of that out of there. Well, this is the same thing. It's like, how much do you have in the net? How much do you totally have? So we have income minus our cost of goods sold, and that gives us our gross income. Then we have all of our other expenses that we take out, and we finally have our net income. That is our profit and loss statement, and hopefully we're making a profit and not a loss. But you have to remember that businesses, for example, Amazon was in the red for 7 years. So sometimes when you're in a startup mode, you are spending more money because you have a vision and you have investors, we call them angel investors very often, who invest in those businesses. So the profit and loss statement is an important statement. You can see when you start having a really large business, you would use an accounting system software. But even when you use the accounting system, a lot of times you will take those reports like I do for my business, Cool Cat Teacher LLC, and I will export those reports to pull into Excel or to Google Sheets so that I can analyze things and I can come up with a budget and say, okay, how do I want this to change for next year? So whether you are a business owner or you're a nonprofit, you run a school, a church, whatever it is you run, you do want to make sure that you have more coming in than you're spending. And if you're spending that money, that you have other sources to pay for that, because in the end, you need to be in the black. That's a good thing, that you're making money. So now we're going to get on to this assignment where we are going to create your first profit and loss statement. One thing I want to mention is at the bottom of your spreadsheet, you have these little things called sheets, and you can have more than one sheet at a time in a spreadsheet, and that's typically what we do when we're working with financial statements for your business. So good luck, you're opening your first business. So here we go. We're getting ready to do our first profit and loss statement. So this is going to be Sammy's P&L, profit and loss, and we're going to go ahead and type the company name at the top. So typically there's a header at the top. So this is Sammy's T-shirt company. at 123 Happy Street. And website address, notarealcompany.com. Now, I want this to be centered over these 3 columns because this is going to be 3 columns in this. So first I'm going to make this a little bigger because I know I want that one to be bigger. And we're about to do something called merge and center. So I'm going to highlight Sammy's T-shirt company across 3 cells. And I am going to click the merge cells button. And you can't really see it, but now when I hit center, you can see that it goes across these 3 cells. I'm going to format it bigger and make it bold. Now do the same thing with these others. Let's center them. Now notice I have to do them one at a time. Otherwise, it will merge all the cells together and that will not be good. And I've merged. So now I'm getting ready to say what kind of statement this is. So this is a profit and loss statement. Now I want you to notice something else. I want profit and loss to look kind of like this up here. There's this really cool feature called format or paint format, or format painter is what it's called in Excel. Either one is the same. So I'm going to click it because I have this highlighted, Sammy's T-shirt company. And when I click paint format and I click on profit and loss statement, look, it not only merged the cell, but it also made the font look exactly the same, which is awesome. This is going to be for the period 1 January 2020 to 30 October 2020. And I want this also. So I can take this one, the address, I can click paint format, and I can click here, and now there's my format painted. Now I'm going to have the word income. I want this to be larger. Typically, when you create a spreadsheet, you create it and you format later, but I'm just kind of taking you through this. Now, some people like to underline. I'm not as much a fan of underlining, so I'm not going to do that. So we have 3 types of income. We have T-shirt sales, T-shirt designs, the price we pay our designers, and other income. And this is just a little small business that we have. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what? I'd really like to see this in dollars. So I highlight my range like we learned in the first video, and I'm going to click dollar signs. So now I want to get at my total income. Okay, I want this to be a little bit bolder. Now I want to have a formula. So I'm going to say equal sum. Highlight these numbers, put the parentheses at the end, and there is my total income. I usually like these to be bold and sort of match the same size here. So that's 12. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my cost of goods sold. Well, I want it to be formatted just like income, and I don't remember what I just did. So I'm going to click on income, format painter, cost of goods sold. There we go. T-shirts, ink and printing, and other direct expenses. And if somebody is an accountant, they may say, oh, there's more stuff that goes in there. But you know what? We're not worrying about being an accountant right now. Now, I want to go ahead and just make this whole column be dollar signs. So I'm just going to highlight ways down and add that. And here I go, $15,000 other direct expenses. Now, total cost of goods sold. I want that to look like income. Whoop. Now, if I take this and I copy it, I can sum these because I want to know what are my total cost of goods sold. And now I'm getting ready for a subtotal. So I want to know my gross profit, which is my total income. I'll say equal total income minus cost of goods sold, and my gross profit is $47,000. So let me go ahead and copy that format there and copy this format here. And so I have a little bit of income there. So now I have expenses. So you will type in these expenses that are shown here. And now I am going to say total expenses equals sum. Oops. Okay, so now I have my total expenses, and I want to have my total profit or loss. I'm going to copy that format there. Okay, and now my profit or loss equals gross profit minus expenses. Now, oh no, that's negative. Okay, and you're wondering, well, why is it not red? I can actually come in here and I can say I want accounting. I can also say that I want more formats. Okay, so let's say that I actually spent more like 15,000 on those t-shirts, and this is more like 1,000. You can see that my numbers are changing, and now I have a little bit of profit. Now when I go to print, I'm going to go to File and Print, and you're going to notice that it's in Landscape. Landscape is left right. I want this to go in Portrait, so I'm going to click up down, and now it's in Portrait. I do want it to fit on one page, so I can actually say Fit to Page. Now it's all on one page, and I'm going to say Next, and then I'll be able to print my profit and loss statement. There you go.